Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Full of Sound Reviews. My name is Ethan, and today's album that we are going to be reviewing is Frozen Charlotte by Jack White. It is his newest release. It dropped this year, last month, July 10th. It is August 8th as of the recording of this video, so it was a little less than 1 month ago. This is the first album I've done. Well, no, it's not. I did that one Snag review. This is one of the first records I've done that's like a new record that I'm reviewing. If you don't know who Jack White is, he is a legendary garage rock musician, famous for his work with the White Stripes and the Raconteurs. And he also has some solo stuff. And this is his, I believe, his 7th solo studio record, self-produced by himself at Third God Records in Nashville. I'm a big fan of Jack White, so going into this record, I was hoping to hear some Jack White mannerisms, which I did. Some very characteristic things about Jack White are his very loose playing, his very weird solos. A lot of his solos are like just sort of just noise on some of the times. It's just like a lot of effects and scratchy blues, like noise. Really cool stuff. And I was expecting to hear the Jack White vocals, you know, the kind of, you know, type stuff, you know, that's in there a lot as well. So if you've ever heard anything that's ever been written by Jack White, you are going to know what to expect with this record. With that being said, I would like to talk about the worst point of this album, and that is the production. This album's production is not very good. The tones of everything is good. The guitar tone is great. The bass tone is great. The drums sound really, really good. The biggest fault of this album lies in its occupying of certain space and its mids. The mids on this album are so harsh. Sometimes it's not consistent, right? This is a garage rock, blues rock record. Blue Lock, Ego, blues rock record. All right. So, you know, it's not going to have the greatest production of all time, right? But I would prefer to listen to this album without vocals being the only thing I can hear at times. So, like, certain guitar parts that are on the upper frets of the guitar and the upper strings of the guitar, as well as some of the more isolated vocal parts, are very, very harsh, and in your ears, that is not a very good experience. The drums sound great, but there's this weird thing going on in the first half of the record where some of the songs, you cannot understand what he's saying at all. Like, it's so covered. The vocals on some of these songs are so covered. I feel like my biggest fault with this production is its inconsistency, because it's great on some songs, like Neighbors Blues, the final song, Dollar Bill, probably the best song on the record if I'm being honest. Like, it's good in a lot of moments, but there are some moments where stuff just clips and is harsh, or it's hard to listen to, or it just gets muddled and vocals get covered up. It's weird. It's weird production on this record. It definitely sounds like it was self-produced by Jack White. Like, if you took his loose guitar playing and you made it into a production style, that's what it sounds like. This album is very bluesy, which I happen to be a big fan of the blues, so if you like blues or you like Jack White stuff, like I said, you'll enjoy this record a lot. It does have a tendency in the latter half, kind of drags, I'm not going to lie. I really, really like the first half. I really do. But after the first half, it's like all of the fever wears off. Like, after the song Dollar Bill, which is the best song, every other song after that is worse than the songs on the front half. Except for Neighbors Blues. That's the final track. That's a really good one as well. So, like, it's good, and the songs themselves are still good, but it's the fact that they're all on the track list beside each other that kind of gets me. I feel like if he would have just, like, maybe placed them differently, like, if he could have kept the first and the third and the fifth track and made the second, fourth, and sixth ones be some of the latter half tracks, and then put the other tracks from 2, 4, and 6 on the back half, I would have enjoyed this album more. It would not have been as boring towards the end. That's not to say it's a boring album at all. It's not really. It's just that you lose a bit of the fire and the fever towards the latter half. There's a lot less of those memorable moments that you hear on Dollar Bill or Derecho de Monaco and Raising the Grain, the front half of the record. So those are my two biggest complaints. is the inconsistency in the production and the mid frequencies being rather harsh, as well as the latter half, the track list itself just being kind of could have been done better. I feel like if you'd have just played certain tracks elsewhere, it would have gone over a lot better with me. Now, as for the strengths of this album, it is very raw. It's very raw, and I love that. I love when a record it's just, you know, that's why I love the Stooges. That's why I love the White Stripes. And it's just so, take it, Jack White in your face, you know, it's just in your face. This album has that a lot. And it also has, like, a lot, like I said, the guitar solos on this thing are so cool. It has a lot of really cool effects. The bass tone is amazing. Super fuzzed out, super like stonery, fuzzy, you know, just really good bass tone. Drums sound great, but the guitar solos are what really get me going. There's like on Derecho de Monaco, there's just solo on it. It's just a scratching noise over the top of this really cool syncopated blues riff, and it's really cool. And Jack White's done that a lot, so if you like that, you're gonna like the solos on this record. They're very straightforward, and they're very abstract, noisy solos, and they're very cool. Not too dissimilar to Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. Kind of similar to his solos, just in a bit of a more bluesy, hard vein, as opposed to Tom Morello's wacky vein. You know, it's got a bit more of seriousness and passion behind it, which I love Tom Morello as a guitarist. He's as a person, but it has a lot more just fervency and just urgency to it than Tom Morello's solos do. So I really enjoy the solos on this album, and the riffs are good. They're very bluesy. But there's a lot of cool patterns within the riffs. You know, there's a lot of pentatonic blues stuff. But Jack White's always been the kind of guy to make that stuff work. Like on, I believe it's Derecho. No, it's not Derecho. Is it Derecho de Monaco? It's one of the first 3 tracks on the record, I know for sure. And the drums and the guitar are like a beat off. So it's like, ba-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na-na. It's like a syncopated thing. And it's really cool. And I love when songs do that. That's why I love, you know, some progressive rock and some stuff like that. So it has some of those little nuances in there that make it a quite the enjoyable listen, especially in the first half. So, yeah, if you'd heard Jack White's previous album, No Name, which is a great one, this feels sort of like a collection of B-sides. Not that it's bad. It's not bad at all. I don't believe so. But it's in the same realm of just blues rock. And I feel like No Name is a little better than Frozen Charlotte, but Frozen Charlotte is still good nonetheless. But I would still say, didn't mention the lyrics. The lyrics are very Jack Whitey. You know, very progressive politics and aliens and like just kind of, it's either very political or very mundane stuff that he kind of fits into this bluesy, you know, realm of his own. And his lyrics have always been very unique and very political for a not punk band, for just a straight up rock band. He still has that. He has still not lost that fire, even in his what is he? He's in his 50s, 40s now. He hasn't lost that fire. So I'm glad that I'm glad that Jack White is still doing his thing, even though I don't think it's as good as the White Stripes used to be, or, you know, the Raconteurs. They were pretty good. But I like his solo stuff still, and I'm still glad he's doing it. I love Jack White. He's a great influence, especially on my, you know, solos and riff writing. But this album does have some big takeaways. You know, the production's very inconsistent. Track list could have been placed better. Some songs maybe could have been cut. Like the latter half, so like 2 or 3 tracks probably are skips. I wouldn't listen to them again. But it definitely has some Jack White strength as well. It's very unique because it's Jack White. His music's very unique anyway. It's a very weird form of blues because it's super loose. He plays a super loose form of blues rock, and it's just sloppy and noisy, and it works really well with his vocals. I love his vocals on this record. Bass is great. Drums are great. It's a good record. Definitely not his best. Like I said, I think No Name is his best, and this is kind of just a collection of songs that didn't make it on a No Name in a way. But it's good. It's still good. I would give it a 7. I would give Jack White's new album, Frozen Charlotte, a 7 out of 10. And I would recommend it. I think you should give it a listen. I think it's pretty good. If you really like blues rock, or if you like the White Stripes, if you like the Strokes, any garage rock groups, the Stooges, King Gizzard, any of those groups, check it out. I think you'll like it. It's really good. It's a loose record, so if you want something that's more sophisticated and highbrow, you're not going to be a fan of this one. It's not. It's the opposite of pretentious. It is easy man's rock. It's really good. It's really good garage rock for 2026. 7 out of 10 for Jack White's Frozen Charlotte. Give it a listen. Thank you all for watching the video, checking me out. Please continue to watch more of my videos. Watch the ones I posted previously. I love all of you guys. Thank you for everyone that supports me, and I will see you in the next one.